So let's get to this lecture. Let's start with this scripture that kind of informs my work. So God created humankind in God's own image. In the image of God, God created them. So I say I'm not just a photographer, I'm an image maker because the first image maker was God. And how I see image making is we're creating images of the image of God. I have a studio that I shoot and do my work. I'm an art-based researcher. So as an art-based researcher, I do work at the intersection of photography, documentary film, spirituality, and social justice, right? So for me, this work is about my research, but also it's about the calling I feel God's placed on my life, right? To be a storyteller. And I believe images are literally transformative and liberating, right? Matter of fact, I argue there's no civil rights movement without images. Y'all see with me? If Mamie Till doesn't make the decision to make America see Emmett Till, it's never birth. She said, I want them to see what they did to my boy. And that birthed the movement. And those images made the movement, made folks see, like we know Bull Connor was there, but now we saw him because we caught up in water hoses in Birmingham. Y'all still with me? Because I feel like preaching this morning. and part of what I hope my work does is that if God is love and we're created in the image of God, can we love ourselves and love others? You know, when I'm learning a lot and doing photography, it's interesting how people don't love themselves or their own body image. And it's interesting, part of my work is to somehow work with them to see the God in them and then for them to see the God in them.
What you said initially about God being created in the image of God.
Yeah.
And so what I saw her saying is that, you know, I was created in the image of God.
Yeah. I'm not here to take your picture. I'm here to reveal your sacred image to make visible the Imago Dei that dwells within you. Interesting, that says DEI. Isn't that interesting? The Imago Dei is actually DEI. Photography is invented in 1839. The first major scholar to speak on photography is Frederick Douglass in 1861. And Frederick Douglass, the great emancipator, in 1861, is lecturing about images. Why? Because prior to 1839, to get a portrait done, you had to be wealthy. You couldn't see yourself. So Frederick Douglass, in this book, chronicles this, he was the most photographed man of his time. Because he understood something about portraits. Portraits free you, who sits in front of the camera, and to those who actually see you, who have not seen you.
So, like, when you look at the people like Frederick Douglass and like Harriet Tubman, you never see pictures of them like smiling. Is that?
So it's about dignity and presence. But Douglass and Sojourner Truth, it was very deliberate to be dignified. When you see a dignified portrait, it's like this. It's not like this. Even today, right? If you look at portraits that tend to be more fine art portraits, they don't have smiles in them. So not only did Douglass, the most photographed man of his time, use portraiture and imagery as a liberative tool, so did Sojourner Truth. And in the book by Darcy Graham Grigsby, Enduring Truths, Sojourner Truth says, I sell the shadow for the substance. She sold images of herself to support the liberation work. You know, the greatest compliment I get when people see my stuff on Facebook or Instagram, when they say, you got her. That's her. You got her, right? That you got her, you captured her, right? And when the beauty in me is when someone sees their image and they tear up. It makes sense with Dr. Daniel Black, great author, Georgia's Author of the Year. Dr. Black said, I'd never seen myself like this before. That's the work I'm doing. That's God's work. Many times folks say, God, can you pray? Because people know I'm a preacher. You know, they know I'm a preacher. They know I'm a preacher. And so many times it happens that that session prior to us getting in the studio together ends up being this deeply spiritual moment where we end up praying about what God's about to do and recognizing God's presence in the work we're doing together. I'm not a photographer. I'm an image maker. It's like when you preach. I don't know if any of y'all preachers. I always got notes, but if the Spirit jump in, then notes go right to the side. I feel my help coming right now. I got to tell you. My goal is that people are truly seen in the work we co-create. I have this monitor, so when I shoot what's called tether, so you can see the images as they're coming through. And I'm amazed when folks see themselves, what happens? Which tells me they had not saw themselves recently.
So over the summer, I worked with Dr. Calvillo at Camden. I worked on a research project with him. on hip hop and spirituality.
Yeah.
And most of the folks I talked to weren't necessarily Christian, but they were spiritual.
So I went to a KRS-One concert. It's years ago. KRS-One, one of the fathers of hip hop culture. I'm at a club. What's the name of this club? Anyway, it's a club in LA. I'm at a club. KRS-One says, "God is here." I'm like, "No, dog, not here." We in the club, I'm pulled up, I had me a little beer in my hand. No, I'm here to party, not here. But yeah, God is omnipresent. And I think for us, if we're going to do this work, understanding how God is working through various mediums to present God's self and do God's salvific work, I think hip hop is one of those clear mediums. The first critique of my work, early hip hop work, was I was trying to get folk to church. But God don't go to church. God don't go to church. God's an omnipresent God. Because I think love is transformative. For God so loved the world, God sent, right? I am love. How can you love God, whom you've never seen, and don't love your sibling, who you see every day? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. When I have images that free you, other folk are free by seeing you. That's what Frederick Douglass believed. That's what Sojourner Truth believed. They believe that when you see me, you see you. That's the first song. What I see in you, see in me, right? And that is actually liberty. That's actually freeing. Because here we go. Every time you do that which God created you to do, it affirms your being, your identity. And folk try to steal that from you by calling out your name, looking at you funny, telling you don't belong where God set you at. Whatever table you at, God set you at that table.
What I was thinking about is being yourself. Being yourself and expressing and being authentic is, you're an example. Right. And that is the evangelism. Somebody that sees you being authentic.
I know I ain't like most folk around here. Hello? They don't dress like me, don't talk like me, don't walk like me. I don't care. It's me. God created me to do what I'm doing. And the more we do that, the more you feel good in your own body. See, I'm not doing work, I'm being the work. It's not about doing, it's about being, right? It's about being. And the more I be it, it affirms who God created Ralph Watkins to be. So I'm very big on calling myself not a photographer, but an image maker. Let's talk more about this, photographer versus image maker, right? Photographer functions as a technician and documentarian. An image maker creates as a spiritual witness and collaborator. Photographer observes from the outside. Image maker reveals the inner truth and divine presence. Photographer captures exterior moments. Image maker uncovers the sacred in the ordinary. I feel like preaching. A photographer focuses on technical execution. Image maker approaches each session with holy intention. The distinction is not merely semantic, it's theological. I'm not here to take your picture. I'm here to reveal your sacred image to make visible the Imago Dei that dwells within you.